heard it there, it'll be fine. So if you turn up in the morning and there's a seat crisis, talk to Kate.
Solar has actually been paying for the school fees, so now I've got a third child. I think that this is important. I have this one in because she's not even 2 yet. So the time she gets to school, I'm going to need the income of the solar. He's a very disloyal dog.
Oh, it's very adorable.
Wednesday 26, it's Cracker Sparrows. Everybody's sort of turning up. Dave's already here, getting on with the job. They're now starting to connect up all the back of the curbing here, which they've put in. And they've just got one last bit of curbing. We've got the concreting team, they're just turning up now in their vans, and they're going to start concreting now the 2 sheds. So we're going to get the spray store concreted and then get the lean-to on the side. Got a lot of lorries on site currently which are being loaded up with futures wheat. So I don't know where they're going, but there must be about, I reckon there must be about 8 or 10 lorries currently here being loaded. So it's quite a busy morning so far, and I think it's only about, just gone 7:30. So the weather's overcast, but it's a good day for concreting, and I'm looking forward to getting these sheds finished finally, because then we can actually get this yard done, and they'll be on this yard next, which will be good. I've got Glyn and Freddie, they're currently just moving a little bit of hedge and getting the garden sorted, which I'll show you. So this is the, just trying to get the line right. So Glyn and Freddie were working on this yesterday. So they've moved the fence line, and they've moved the hedging. So Freddie's just gone to get the bowser. He's going to have to start watering it every day. So the hedge used to go in a sort of a bit there, left this no man's land bit of grass in. So we've moved the grass into this, and then we've put the hedge here. So it's quite late to be moving a hedge, but I think if we keep watering it every day, it should come right. So we're just going to rabbit net it, and then got to put in a fence post and then put in the gate across, etc. So landscaping time now. So we're going to get landscaping. So they're going to come and concrete this. As soon as this is done, it's got the weight on the curbs. We can't touch it. We're too worried about knocking the curbs over. Then we're going to start infilling this with soil, banking this all down so Pete can mow it. Just sort out this entrance here. Got a couple of flagpoles going in, and get this graded. We've got to spray the grass. It's got a lot of moss come up in it, so we're going to put some iron sulfate on it and get rid of that. And then we're going to start putting in the panelled walling round there. And Glyn and Freddie, they've got a lot of soil to move on the far side. So I'm going to get that cleared so we can then get that grass seeded and set up for the open day. So there's a lot of work going on now, ready for the open day. And we're walking back to the office because, in about 3 minutes' time, we've got our committee meeting. No better word, I suppose, if you don't want anything to happen, form a committee. But we've got our committee meeting on setting up the open day, see where we got to, make sure we've got everything booked, everything processed, and we've got the food to make sure that's all agreed and sorted. We've got the basics like the police, the fire brigade, the county council, the roads, the highways, etc. That's all booked in. To make sure that there's no sort of issues in that sense. Insurance has been done. We've now sorted out the main agenda and the plan of what's happening on the morning of the conference and the afternoon, who's doing the demonstrations. Pretty excited about the conference. So look, there's the wounded drawbar down there. Poor old Michael. It was £3,300, that drawbar. £3,300. That's a lot of money. So we're going to see if we can tackle that. Half the field's falling off the drill. We'll get onto that when we've got this bit of soil gone. I just want to get this area sorted out, get the soil moved, get it prepared, get it drilled with grass. Aaron's got all the SFI work finished now. He's drilled everything. So he's just going to clean the drill down, empty out what's left in it. So Kate's head of operations for the open day. So every kind of legal bit of paperwork that comes in, I just put Kate's name at the top, don't I?
Thanks, James.
She's responsible for everything on the day, so she's sitting here doing the plan. We're designing where everybody's going for their stands. We're working out that we're going to do a brochure and a program, and we've got one person left, I think, to confirm, haven't we, for the panel discussion? Everybody else is confirmed.
I think
for
they're all
the
confirmed
conference.
now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, that's good. And so that's pretty exciting. We've got a good thing. So when are we going to be telling everybody what they're going to be talking about? Next week?
Next week.
When we've printed it up?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then we've got with open demonstrations, haven't we, in the afternoon after lunch? We've now set up a plan. We've just got to confirm with all of the people who are doing it that they're happy with the timings. So there'll be, in the afternoon, there'll be lots of stuff. There'll be all the stands, the people who are supporting the business, and then there's going to be live demonstrations. So, for example, William Morfitts, they're going to do a drainage demonstration, aren't they? Putting in pipe and gravelling, etc., and showing how drainage works. I know Terry Birch is interested in part of that, doing mould draining and the fact he builds the mould drainers, etc., and the role they play in the drainage. We got BWT, haven't we, doing demonstration on tyres and compaction.
Yep.
And anyway, the list goes on, doesn't it? It should be, there's a lot for people to see. I think Agri are doing a big thing on the Field of Dreams.
They are, yeah.
And so we're getting to the point we're going to type it up now so we can share it with everybody. And so then the people who are coming in the afternoon can see what they can come and see as well. There's going to be quite a lot for them, isn't there?
Yeah.
So morning's going to be conference, and the afternoon's going to be working demonstrations and stands, etc. So we just got to. So now we're here for our morning meeting, aren't we? To make sure the basics are done, like the food, and the things we're worried about, like seats.
We'll be fine.
Okay, good. Right, you heard it there. You heard it there. It'll be fine. So if you turn up in the morning and there's a seat crisis, talk to Kate.
Tom's assured me it's going to be fine. I'll pass it on to Tom.
It's like a triangle. It's moving somewhere else.
So we're here with John from Anglia Farmers, who's actually going to be here on the open day, showing people around the solar and the installs. And then we've got George, who's from East Green. Some reason I kept saying it was Evergreen, didn't I, earlier? Yeah. But he's going to change the name anyway, just to humour me, aren't you? But I think it's Evergreen is actually what John thinks I've got excited about. But George is looking at doing an install in May on this shed. Now, we've got 2 different meters on the farm here. So where John did the install last year in July, which was a field-based install of solar, this will be actually our first shed install. We've never done the sheds before. We've always done the field base. The reason we're looking at doing it on this particular shed is because the meter for here powers the office and the workshop and the other grain stores up here, because the 2 sites are split. So actually we have no solar generation this side of the yard, one for a better word, and actually surprisingly there's quite a lot of power consumption this side. And so George has come here today. They're going to start in May, get it finished before the end of May, and actually on the open day going to be here.
I hope so.
Are you coming?
I'm not sure I've been invited, James, but I'm sure. No. I will be here. We'll be down, and I'll be here if it's all working correct.
So people can actually, they can talk to you. They can they can see it, and you can understand what we're doing. Just tell us, how big is it?
It's going to be about 50, just over 50 kilowatts of PV.
Right.
And then we've got some battery storage going in as well.
Are we actually putting the batteries in?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And who makes the batteries?
There's TBC. We've got permission for the Tesla Powerwalls.
Oh, I'm a bit of a fan of Elon Musk.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
is that probably a bit of a woke thing to say?
It's a bit of a controversial topic at the moment. So if you want to have a look at other alternatives, we can. But that's the plan at the moment.
Because I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
Donald and Elon, you know, they I wake up in the morning and all I can see is what they've been up to.
So you'll find us sticking with that plan.
Yeah. Good. But I mean, the batteries for us I think it's the next stage, and I know we talked about doing it in the field, haven't we? But you're waiting to get a year's worth of data to actually decide whether batteries are going to work for us, John, and whether it's cost effective. But on this particular project, are we going batteries because of the demand at night?
On the other site, you've got fairly sporadic consumption when you have your fans on in the grain store, so we're looking at that carefully to see whether it actually stacks up. On this site, because your consumption is much more continuous year-round, batteries, I think, do make much more sense here. You're not talking about such big loads either. So.
Okay.
And your business is predominantly all solar,
Predominantly commercial solar, yeah.
and is it mostly on roofs?
Mostly on roofs, but we do ground mounted systems as well.
Okay, so this is your bread and butter.
Absolute bread and butter.
And what about the battery aspect? Is that something you've always been doing or just got into? Or?
It's something we've always done. It doesn't stack up on a lot of sites, so we have to sort of model it and make sure it works. Work with John a lot in terms of what does and doesn't work, look at your data. But on this one, it does stack up.
It isn't
it's not
just
an absolute,
have solar, you must have batteries.
Absolutely not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and the solar often is a much better payback than the battery currently.
Oh, what? Have more solar?
Have more solar.
Because it's more cost effective to overspec than it is to put the battery technology in.
And you can put the batteries in at a later date if you want to. So it sort of works. At the moment it works like that, but as John will tell you, we're hoping that battery storage will come down in cost and everything will start being a bit more attractive on that regard.
I see Ed Miliband's in a bit of trouble over Chinese sweatshop solar panels. Where the solar's being made?
It's the problem. Everything is made in China. So,
is that right?
Yeah.
That is just the reality.
Just the reality. And you can sort of feel how you feel about it, but very little alternative.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they have cornered the production market.
Absolutely taken the whole market. And that sort of creeped over us for the last 15 years.
Okay, so it's not actually, you can choose a German panel, one for a better word.
No.
Okay.
And going back to what you were saying about, some people are a bit iffy at the moment about the Tesla product.
Yeah.
The answer to that is okay, if you don't have a Tesla product, do you want to go to a Chinese product instead?
Yeah.
There's no easy win on that regard. You might feel bad about something, but
I'm actually quite pleased it's Tesla.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
it's the closest I'll ever get to electric Tesla because I'm not a fan of electric cars. I haven't got there yet. Is yours electric, John?
Mine's a hybrid.
Oh, is it? Yeah. No, I'm still dirty diesel. So, good. Well, look forward to it. So we'll do a bit of filming in May when you guys come and install it. You think about 3 weeks, start to finish, scaffolding, netting underneath.
Yeah.
We've got to empty the grain stores to make sure it's safe for the netters. Then they'll come and install about 2-week install.
Yeah.
And then so we'll be up and running when the sun's shining, and we should start getting some meaningful data.
Absolutely.
And the payback. What was the payback, John?
Payback was pretty quick on this one. I think it was about 5 years, something like that.
Okay. Actually, as investments go, 5 years is a good payback, isn't it? As a model.
Were you getting much return on some other machinery or sort of farm stuff? Not 5 years. So
no.
that's
So in agricultural terms, often we talk about 25-year payback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even
a shed.
35.
Yeah.
And if you start talking about land, it's almost generational, unless you've got alternative income that can pay for the land outside of farming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, 5 years. I'm happy with that.
If you factor that in on the basis that the panels should be up there for maybe 30 years, you're going to get quite a few times the value of the panels back.
Well, it's going to become the next generation's problem, John, because I'll be either dead or retired.
Oh, agreed. Same for me.
Very good.
When I originally wanted to look at the journey of solar, my first thought would be to look at doing it myself. But actually, I came to you guys because I soon found that actually it's quite a difficult market out there. There's a lot of people who will offer to do everything, but I hadn't got the confidence because I've got millions of pounds worth of grain underneath the sheds. I haven't done the shed before. I wanted to have the right people come in and do the work. So I rang you, John, and you did the field, that worked well, and I said, I think we ought to try to do something this side of the yard. You've introduced George, and because you've got confidence where you've been doing numerous projects, and we even spoke a moment ago about people I know that you've done the work for. So the expertise is you went out to tender, didn't you, for a number of places, and actually then you brought George here to site, because the price was right, the timing was right, etc. And now we're going to get this set in so we get the full benefit of it. And that's really what AF does, isn't it? And then you'll manage the whole process.
Absolutely. I think with anything, it's always horses for courses, and choosing the right provider to provide you with the right solution, irrespective of what it is, solar or anything else. It's really important to have somebody that works on projects regularly. At AF, we do dozens and dozens of solar projects every year.
Yeah.
And consequently, we're working on roof types like this, we're working on the ground.
Yeah.
And we choose the right supplier to do the right job.
And if I have a problem, John, I pick up the phone to you, don't I?
Correct, yeah.
And then you'll ring George.
Yep.
So actually, I have continuity of someone to talk to. If you chose to have 2 or 3 different people on site doing solar, for example, I have you as my port of call to help me.
Correct.
And also, you're also helping with the funding. in the
Yes.
sense that I don't want to take this out of cash flow. So we've actually, in the last one we did, you found a provider, didn't you? But actually almost HP'd it, the solar, and that's now being paid off over, I forget now if it's 6 or 7 years. But we stretched it to a period for actually in the year one, I had a positive benefit to it, which was the income was greater than the outgoing of the HP. And we'll look to do the same on this. So actually, for me, it's worth doing because it's not going to take any cash out of the business, but also I'll have a positive cash flow coming in from doing it immediately, which actually I think is key. Otherwise, you can have these never-ending projects that it's paid off in 5 years or it's paid off in 7 years. But the reality is you need cash today, not in 7 years' time.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation for you, and the reason we were able to get it cash positive so quickly, is because you are a big consumer of electricity on this site.
Yeah.
So actually, the solar stacked up extremely well in terms of your payback, and the finance solution became, self-fulfilling almost. Hopefully, we will have the same situation with this array.
Yeah.
I think with this array, with the batteries, the benefit will be much better for you in terms of your generation, because you will actually be using it in smaller quantities but more continuously.
Okay. Yeah, that's where the battery's going to kick in. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we've had solar now. The first solar we put in with the tracker was 2010. So actually, you think about, I put them in originally and said that they would pay for the school fees of the children. And actually, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So the generation of the solar has actually been paying for the school fees. So now I've got a third child. I think that this is important. I have this one in because she's not even 2 yet. So the time she gets to school, I'm going to need the income of the solar. So there you are, everybody. If you want to worry about paying for school fees, solar's the way to do it.
So Pete's got these all replanted where we'd lost it through the water. Hopefully, and he's put the bark chippings around the base. So that's not ideal. Some animals dug up round it, that will end up dying if it's not careful. But he's got them planted. You can see where they've sort of got this stuntedness. And he's got different size ones which we had to get hold of, but hopefully by next year this is looking a lot better. It's actually really nice. James Bolton designed this. And he's had to change the yew trees as well. But we did plant up in here. I just want to have a look, see how he's got on and see if they're started to bud up or not. But I wanted to put in a hedge. So Roger Pinner sent me the other day how many hedges plants I've bought off him. And it's a vast amount actually across all the farms and places like this. It's surprising. Completely not funded by anything, did it off our own back, but we're putting in several thousand metres every year. And actually 2 kilometres is a lot in itself, but when you consider that every year you do the same, it's amazing how far you get. And then we've been concentrating on gapping up in places, and then some of this is going to be quite nice when it grows up. And it's all designed so when I'm a grandfather and run round on a horse with my grandchildren, I can sort of say, I planted this and planted that, and this is all done part of the Jubilee. We put in fruit trees. We thought this would be quite nice. Oh no, they're budding up. Not all of them. Not all. Oh, this one is. Look. Come and have a look here, Tom. Yeah, so not all of them are budded up, but because it's quite late, we might have, unfortunately, now it's going quite dry, we might actually have quite a percentage which die. But I think we'll have to look at getting the hose pipe set up here and start getting them watered. It's not quite there yet. There's still quite a bit in the ground. It hasn't dried out or cracked, but that's the thing about clay. Once it does dry out and the land cracks and everything, that's why we lose the yield, because the ground gets so dry that when it then gets a rain, it doesn't respond because there's so much water needed to close the cracks up and to get down into the roots. Whereas if it's lighter land, actually a small rain can make a big benefit because it gets straight down into the rooting zone. So if we're unlucky, we'll we'll get another dry spring going into harvest, and that would be a disaster because at the moment we've got really good yield potential on the wheats and things, really good. We'll go and have a look in a minute, just look at the mustard that I believe is coming up in the rows. So Aaron's finished the SFI drilling and all the drilling, so he's now going to wash it down. That's the only bad thing about these big machines, there's a lot of areas for the mud to get stuck. And Sandy's here, he's finished fertilising. And you turn around, look, Sandy stood up there. Those sunglasses, Sandy, they look a bit like a blind man would wear.
Coming from the gentleman who's got a cream interior in his Range Rover.
Cream interior? But
I think you must have forgotten your sunglasses when you were sweating.
they'll stop it. Fortunately, they can't hear your abuse towards me. But anyway, you're always very brave from height.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they've finished all the fertilising. That's done now. Second pass on the mustard's done. Did you see the mustard up on the last field you're in?
It's not yet, no.
Not yet, okay. But I know there's some at Rectory which is up, so I'm going to go and have a look at that. But so you're going to swap the wheels around on this now, aren't you?
Back to narrows.
And then that's going to be ready now for basically spring, going into summer.
Yeah.
Takes about a day to change these wheels, doesn't it? It's not a big job. It's not a simple job.
No, Kieran's is even worse than mine. Because you've got a jacket.
Oh, because he's got to jack it up a different way. Yeah. So Kieran's he's finished the fertilising as well. So we want to get them completely cleaned down because we don't want a liquid fertiliser on the booms and all that sort of thing. So they're going to focus on got no spraying or anything till next week. So we're really on top of the job. And what day is it? It's Wednesday. So they're really on top of the job. It's good for the guys. It means they can just get these jobs done. They can relax and then see what next week brings. So we've been working on this, and yeah, it's not fully built yet. But there's the bar which goes across there. Got to paint that up, put the other rolls on. We're just waiting for the plates. If you can see, if you get your eye in there, Tom, do you see the white marks on the frames at the back? That is where we're going to put some reinforcement on to prevent any cracking. Where we've had perhaps cracking on the box sections, we're going to make that right. I heard the alarm of the sandwich lady go a minute ago, so they've all probably gone off to go get their sandwiches and hot burgers and things that she brings down. But Simon's working on this header. He's got to change that guard. We put this on in a harvest temporarily, but basically it got caught when trying to put this on. It pinched it. So we're just putting a new guard in here. But unfortunately, he's got to strip all this out to get it in. And then he's going to push out these dents and things. And David Rowe very kindly sent me a message about using the brake shoes and then welding a piece across and then a piece on the top to create the right shape when jacking, which is really helpful. So we've got to just find some brake shoes now. I'm going to hopefully get pulled to see if there's any coming off any of the lorries. So here they are eating their lunch, eating their sandwiches and their hot baths. Let's have a look, see what's here. We've come to have a look. This side, okay. We come to see what your offering is.
So, baguettes.
Come and have a look, Tom.
Baguettes.
Baguettes.
Sandwiches.
Yeah.
Here and here. Drinks. Crisps.
Where's the hot food? You do hot food,
Here,
don't you?
Yes.
So is that
Hot food I've got left.
only lots of chocolate down there? And
Yeah,
big
there's
bars of chocolate,
Yeah,
look.
chocolate, cakes.
That's a weakness, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, that's a weakness. I can see white chocolate in their Milky
Yeah,
Bar, look.
yeah.
I never grew out of it.
Are you the Milky Bar?
Yeah, I'm the Milky Bar kid, yeah. You even got the gap in the teeth.
So I've got a bacon baguette, I've got a sausage bat, I've got a chicken burger, I've got a cheeseburger, and I've got one double dog left.
Just a double
Double
dog.
dog is 2 hot dogs, 2 Frankfurter hot dogs
Yeah.
in a baguette.
So you come every day, don't
I
you?
do.
So you see the guys down here.
Yeah, and
You
up
see
there.
the farm boys.
Yeah, I do.
And you must hate us in the summer when I feed everybody.
I know.
Yeah. Are you going to
Yeah,
tell
but
me
they're
off?
all- yeah, that's
Yeah.
naughty. That is.
Naughty. For the rest of the year,
It's all
as soon as I
fine.
hear your horn, I know, but suddenly they'll be like rats have gone.
Yeah,
They've gone
and
to
the
find
dog,
you. And the dog, yeah, Flynn.
I've got his treats in the front. He has a biscuit every day.
That's why he's getting fat, isn't it? And he sits in my office, and then I can smell whatever is coming out of him is not what I fed him. So I know whose fault it is now.
I think the boys are probably worse because he's gone straight over to them today,
Yeah,
not me.
he's sat by David, isn't
So
he?
he runs up to the gate sometimes, and I open the door, and I go, "Come on, Flynn, jump in." So he jumps in, sits on my lap, and I run around and come down. He's adorable.
He's a very disloyal dog.
Oh, it's very adorable.
Take care.
Yeah, you have a good day.
So Glyn's clearing up all this rubbish, getting it into the dumper for Freddie, and we're using the cab dumper. They've got to come and replace the back window. Today they said they were coming. And any concrete and stuff, that's going to go into a hardcore pile, and then that's going to go to a crusher, and we'll reuse that back here. So we need to get this all cleared. And we need to get this bottom of the field sorted out so we can get this drilled. Karen's going to drill this with grass, so then we can have the open day out here, etc. And then Horse are going to use one side of this for all their demonstrations of their machinery while they're here for a month. So we're on a tight timeline now. We've got to have this all finished and immaculate by the end of May, ready for the 1st of June when Horse are going to use it for a month. So yeah, I think once the sheds get concreted and we get this all cleared up, it will suddenly look very different round here. It will come together. They always say, builders, don't they, it's got to get muckier before it gets smarter. But, it's a lot of concrete, a lot of cost in concrete. So we've even had a better deal through Anglia Farmers and managed to get us even better deal on concrete now, which is good. So the price has dropped. Well, it's a difference of £15 a cubic metre. So it's more than 10% difference they've managed to get us. So it looks like my Wimbledon lawn. So where Raymond's rolled it, just credit to tiller and bring it on. I think it makes about quarter to half a tonne a hectare difference. I'm always amazed the difference in what rolling can do this time of year. And this crop's a bit further behind, drilled later, because we've had a bit of a ryegrass issue in here. So it's got lovely patterns, and you can see now the footpaths, we've sprayed the footpaths off so well. Richard Elkington's come and done it, and he's been about with his quad bike, and he does them across all the farms, Bedfordshire, Lincolnshire, Cambridgeshire, comes and does it. He's got a little knapsack on his bike, and he goes up and he puts the paths in so that people know where to go, kills the crop off. It's rolled as well, so it's nice, easy walking. And it'll be interesting to see what this looks like in by the end of, well, I suppose by mid-April. I think this will really tell the difference of which one was rolled. You look this way, Tom, the crops have coming on there. You know, this early nitrogen's now really getting into these crops. And you can see we're 18 degrees today. So actually it's quite telling how I think the conditions are good underneath. And you see my chaser bins are waiting to get back into the shed of dreams. But we'll go and have a look at the mustard, see if we can find it. So here's the mustard. Really nice, strong, dark colour. It's coming up. It's got the nitrogen on it. Nitrogen's in here. It's all coming up. Can't quite see the rows, but you can definitely see it starting to come up in lines. It's a bit sporadic at the moment. There should be a bit more. If we get a bit more rain in this 18 degrees and this sun, and you get mustard to bounce out the ground, we've got a crop. Mustards are really fickle. If we get the wrong weather and this comes out lazy and has a tough time, it never does well. I mean, mustard can yield anything from 0.1 tonne a hectare to the best we've achieved is 1.8, and it's typically been about £1,500 a tonne. It's down to 1,300 now, but it's very much down to the seeding time, and that's why this particular field was not ploughed. We actually cultivated this, and this wasn't ploughed, but oh, there's some stronger plants. You see that, Tom, there? So there's much stronger just coming up. So next week we'll come and have a look again. I think this will be this will look good. And if we get a little rain again, bounce out the ground. It's a great crop if the conditions go well, but it's a terrible crop if things just don't work against you. But, you know, as Michael said, we are so far ahead this year in the sense that nitrogen's done, the drilling's done, stuff's rolled. You can see where we've had a burst hydraulic pipe. And we're ahead of it. If as long as things go well from now on, we could have some really good crops. It's the day of the budget, emergency budget happening with Rachel Reeves. So yet to find out what's happened and how that's going to affect us. I've ordered fuel, so we ordered 36,000 litres for one, and we ordered 20,000 for another. Didn't order the 140 we once spoke about, but decided cash flow wise and see what happens. So currently as it stands, there has been no update related to farming just yet. So we'll wait to see what happens later, and we'll report that on Sunday. I'll try and touch base with Nick Holmes if we can about actually what happened. The couple of questions that people have asked for. Fuel, Anglia Farmers looking at resolving my fuel intake and actually having a meter that will be connected to fill up our tanks. So I'm waiting for an update on them to see what they're going to do with that. Somebody asked about 1167. Hopefully you found the connection to that. Go to our website, go to the shop, and then you can order the 1167s on that. Not dissimilar to that one there. And the open day is coming on really well. The afternoon tickets are for sale, so click on those. Need any clothing or the toys, shop's open, get on there. Hopefully more of you will get booked on for the afternoon and have a look at the what's happening. We're going to then start publicising next week sort of the format of who's speaking and what we're doing in the afternoon as well, and etc. So sort of you can see the hard work that's going on in the background. So thanks ever so much everybody who's subscribing. Subscribing numbers continue to go up. We hit 10,000 on Instagram, which is wonderful, so we're pleased about that. That started from scratch. Tom too, he's been doing the Instagrams, and he's done well on that now. He's working on the TikTok and the Facebook. They're doing quite well. They're getting towards 7,000 each. And my Twitter's just sub 10,000, which hasn't really moved a lot in the last 3 months. I'm sure it sort of goes up and then comes down a bit. So I'll sort of try and desperately hard to see if we can break the boundary on the Twitter. Twitter's what I like. It's where I get my news from. That and the Times. And so we look forward to seeing you towards the end of the week and see what the effect the budget's had on agriculture, and see. Won't be long until the concrete boys next week start concreting. That's going to make a big difference, and get these boys getting everything washed down, getting everything switched over, ready for the spring now and the narrow tyres. And yeah, all is well. Sun is shining.